The last section will address the course logistics. There are very few changes for this semester, but I wanted to make sure that you are aware of them. So, course manager versus course sponsor role and responsibility. We are introducing a new role, which is course manager. So, when I send emails about the Academy, it's sent out to about 100 people, and I'm not quite sure exactly how they function in the system, what their roles are, but it's a list that I have inherited and the list that has existed for years. So, to clarify the role, here is what each does. So as you read this list, where do you fall under? Are you a course manager or are you a course sponsor? If you are interacting with our staff, whether they're Michael Sanchez, Mina, or Nermeen or me, you're most likely a course manager. You oversee the content, the instructional design. You are the ones who are communicating with the instructors, selecting them. Um, you also liaise between the sponsor and our team or the instructors. You manage the logistics, finding the room, the location, and you submit the course requests. And you may also be the instructor because you don't make funding decisions. If you're a course sponsor, you oversee all the courses that are under your leadership and you may approve them. You may make funding decisions when the enrollment isn't met, the 20 minimum enrollment isn't met, because you can choose to fund the academy course still. But directors have the final say in the cuts if cuts must be made. And you may not be the instructor because you make funding decisions. And to further clarify, here are some things that the course manager does. The first bullet addresses equitable access. So what we mean by that is we're in the process of creating a heat map of where the academy courses are currently offered, which part of the county, and there is, I can tell you right now, there is a disparity in the amount of courses that are offered in one part of the county over the other. So while it is important to find a location that works for your instructors, keeping in mind where the course is best served. For example, building a trauma-informed classroom is being held at a location, at a school where that is an important course for that school and that population. So considering that while you make decisions, you're collaborating with instructors, making sure that they submit their contracts, complete HR 11s, and close out courses before deadline. And we'll work together in ensuring private school access to course resources. Through Title II-A grant, the federal grant, we are required to offer our academy courses to private teachers. And some of the courses that we offer through the academy require access to Google Suite or G Suite or Blackboard, and which means that we need to create accounts for them. We're currently working with IT to streamline that process, but it is the responsibility of the course manager to make sure that private schools have access to the end. We will work with you to make that happen. And effective this spring, we're almost at the end of our presentation. So our Academy team has created an audio-visual guide very similar to this one to guide you through the Academy course request. So each section will have a visual as to how to go about filling out the fields. And some notable changes are makeup dates. We're asking you to provide one inclement weather makeup date if it's a 1 credit class. If it's a 2 credit academy course, then you have to account for 2 additional dates, 3 credit, 3 additional dates. We may not use them. Most likely we will, because that's what the trend has been. And update the course description as mentioned earlier. Identify who your sponsor and your manager are. So we will try to determine who they are based on our relationship with different programs. And we will also ask the directors to identify the sponsors, and for the sponsors that they have identified, to identify the course managers. So that process is in the works. The requests that you'll get on Monday will be to all, but as we better define it, you'll find out by springtime who, if you are a sponsor or manager, or in very rare cases, functioning as both. And we're going to ask you to submit a recent syllabus or instructor resume if it is not on our file. That link is provided to you through the Academy course request, or it has been provided through the pre-request form that was sent 2 weeks ago. On that, there's a link that shows you all the syllabi that we have on file and instructor resumes. If your course or instructors are not on those files, then please make sure that you submit it. With that, what we're working on is piloting a new course request format. What we have realized is that 90% or more of the course requests is repeated information. So we're piloting a new format with a few course managers so that you don't have to copy and paste the same information every trimester. So if this is successful, we will tweak it and we'll hopefully launch it for everybody in the next request cycle. And if you have a new course in mind, please contact me, Jian, at jyahn1 at fcps.edu. I will put you in touch with a consultant, a member of the realignment team, who can guide you through the process with the upcoming changes in mind, so you don't have to make too many tweaks as we put some of these things, these changes more permanently. With that, I leave you with our feedback at the end. There's one more thing to do, and you have concluded this session. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.